gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Pro
Someone driving right into a wall.
Say what?
Said someone driving right into a wall as you're saying welcome to.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's part of the gig. I come on a little strong. We would like to welcome you here to the Mike Stofmeel is not in goddamn first place. WTF, mate. He's being strung out and led by somebody named M. Manticore, or Manticron, or something like that. Possibly a Transformer.
Mancotron? Yeah, it definitely sounds like a Transformer that might turn into a monkey.
And
Mike's got a purple sector one, though.
Hey, joining me on the commentaries are Michael, don't call me Mikhail O'Drade.
Thank you.
And Travis, the future of tapioca, Wallace.
Tapioca?
He has no response to that.
I didn't expect him to. I literally came up with it as it was coming out of my mouth, so I don't expect anybody to have a witty response.
I generally have a response for these things.
Who's this Manticore boy in front? Like, what's his deal? Where did he come from?
Mr. Mancotron literally came onto the practice server before this race, and he was doing real well. And he actually looked up our Discord server, came and joined, and asked if he could join the race.
Nice, well done.
So he is here to take pole in the rough.
By a second.
Yeah.
And his first name is Mr. Thank you very much. Fantastic.
It's Mancotron, Stofmeel, Zatoni, Jerome, Riccabeni, Peterson, Lauer, Baukage, Delvea, Jeffries, Higgs, Calmandi, Racer, Martinez, Hutchison, Major, Medeiros, Magas, Tavares, Walsh, Burke. And it's going to come on for a while here. We got Dixon Hurst starting from P22. I think he was the last one to qualify, but I think we actually do have a couple other cars. Like I know John Simone Chenard is here as well. So we got a quick warm up here. Gentlemen, your thoughts for the coming race. Who's your money?
I mean, new guy's pretty flashy. No, I'm not gonna. The proven track record of Mike Stofmeel just not giving a fuck and winning anyway is kind of anticipated here. But new flashy guy is always exciting.
New hotness?
Old and busted, new Manticore.
Travis, who are your guys to watch out for? If not for the win, then who you think will shine in the mid pack?
It's intimidating seeing how far ahead the new guy is. But I've got faith in Mr. Stofmeel.
Faith.
It could just be that I've raced with him more. Or at all, in this case.
There is Mr. Mancotron showing off at the pit. Josiah Jerome with another very stunning qualifying effort in P4.
Not bad for a guy with one finger and two chopsticks.
Mm-hmm. He is playing with the trackpad. I mean, that's the case.
Correct. The only reason he's not leading all this shenanigans by 10 seconds is because he has substandard equipment.
He is dollar for dollar the ESR champion.
Correct.
So, do we know anything about Mr.?
He's Spanish.
We know very, very little, to be honest. He goes by the name Johnny Cab on Discord.
Johnny Cab?
Juanito.
Johnny Cab.
Juanito Cabor.
Mm-hmm. And he'll be starting from pole position here at Spa, which is always a good place to be because Eau Rouge will murder you. And Josiah Jerome kind of having a little spin there. Don't know if that was intentional.
I make a move to petition that they have the corner changed from Eau Rouge to Eau Rouge because I like food. And Dippin' Sauce is the bomb.
We'll see how many corners on this circuit I misnamed. That'll be the interesting thing for people at home to do. We have a 30-minute feature race, and then it'll be a reverse top 10 grid for race 2, which will be 15 minutes and a sprint. The grid is forming up there. You see the big Mustang on the front row. You see the rough on the front row, and then it is a lot of Audis behind them. From Zatoni down to Lauer.
He's Spanish and he likes it rough. It's
Indeed.
Mr.
Ooh,
Manticore.
we have a lot of cars that didn't post a lap time, including Yevgeny Lazarenko and Simeon Naku. So look out for them to come from the back end. Someone is in the wall.
God.
It is Wayne Medeiros in the wall. It is Ronaldo Tavares in the wall. And it is carnage already. And we're not even really through La Source.
Oh my God!
Here we go. Here comes Eau Rouge. And it is Mr. Mancatron in the lead. Paul Riccobeni in 5th place. There we ride with him for Project Velocity. And Mike Stofmeel with that beastly Mustang wants a chunk of the lead. And look at everyone coming through behind. This could be potential disaster if one person makes a slight mistake.
Old and busted to the front.
Old and busted to the front in a Mustang, no less.
And the Mustang.
You do not get more old and busted than a Mustang.
Correct.
New teammates Zoltan Kalmandi and Guillermo Martinez running 11th and 12th, having a good little battle there between the McLaren.
And remember, kids, we don't mess with the Zoltan.
As the Carbones racing team and the Zalucci racing team have combined into Zalucci Carbones racing.
Damn bones.
Gerardo Delvey and the other Mustang is up in 8th position ahead of Nick Pearson. Nick Pearson had a pretty bad start. He's down to 9th, so he's having a rough time. And Mr. Mancatron is all over the back end of Mike Stofmeel. So the new hotness doesn't want to go away quite yet. Doesn't want to be flash in the pan.
That is possibly true. Wait, is he sponsored by Bacon Rinds or pork? What's going on there?
I don't know, to be honest.
We have to take a closer look at that car. That looks like
Some kind of snack food, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
It's got to be like a chip brand or something.
I would assume. That definitely looks like a chip bag.
Yeah. Anyways, he's in 2nd place. He's running behind Mike Stofmeel's Ford. The rough, of course, is the basically their way of getting a Porsche in the game without a Porsche license. And in the background there, speaking of fast food, Ariel Zatoni in the KFC car is running in 4th place and all over the back end of Josiah Jerome, looking to get that finger-looking good podium. And Paul Riccobeni looking to take them both. Further back is Martin Lauer, Nils Baukage, Gerardo Delvey, Nick Peterson, Mike Jeffries. That is your top 10 at the moment. Your leading Silver Cup car is Nils Baukage in 7th place.
Oh no.
Oh,
Like
Ariel
KFC
Zatoni
wall?
was very off. Yep. Oh, he's lost the front end. No, Ariel. Don't do this to yourself.
Owie.
Indeed, Ariel Zatoni has lost the front end of the car, and he is dropping like a stone. Guillermo Martinez with the next one to attempt to pass him, followed by Zoltan Kamandi, Johnny Major, and Richard Higgs. Simeon Naku, by the way, didn't qualify, already up to 15th place, having a fantastic race.
So we've had Dem Bones and we've had Like a Stone. Any other musical references we can work in here tonight?
I mean, we can bring in infinite ones if we want. Like Jeffries on the tail of Nils Baukage for the lead Silver Cup spot. They're right behind Nick Peterson. He is in the pink and black Audi. Here. And Paul Riccobeni looking to get up onto the podium ahead of Josiah, 15 frames a second, Jerome. Which actually was the frame rate he was having during this race. We talked about Naku carving his way through. Not quite as fantastic, but Yevgeny Lazarenko is up to 18th place, so he's having a pretty solid outing at the moment. Richard Higgs on the tail of Ariel Zatoni. One would think he'd get by him pretty quickly with Zatoni's damage. You can see there's Zatoni getting very wide, losing the spots to Higgs and to Naku, and I think Johnny Major will also be getting through before. Yep, there we are, as they head into Blanchimont. And then this is, of course, the bus stop chicane, where Martin Edmonds can be found in the wall on a regular basis. What, I get no laughs? It's harsh.
Wah, wah, wah.
Into the pit lane goes Ariel Zatoni. He'll be looking to repair his front end here to try to make a run for the remaining 25 minutes. Dixon Hurst spinning around in the background in the Ford GT, putting maybe a little bit of emphasis on the found on road dead aspect of his car. We'll have to see where Tony comes out because we know he's got pace. He started on row number 2. Mike Jeffries hunting Nils Baukage. Looks like Baukage. No, never mind. Jeffries he's still 8th place, so we're still battling hard.
I love the paint that he picked for that Porsche.
Yeah, Baukage. The Iron Force, the Ring Police car. It's very nice.
The Iron Ring? What?
Iron. It's like Iron Ring Police or something.
Weird.
We'll see it when it comes up again. Joe Racer getting past the Porsche of David Walsh for 14th position. And now Paul Riccobeni still on the hunt for that podium position with Josiah Jerome. It's not been a great title defense for Paul Riccobeni yet. The Project Velocity leader is struggling and definitely needs a solid result here in these 2 Spa races. And at the front, it's still Stofmeel versus Mankotron. I would like to, for this race only, start to refer to Mike Stofmeel as Stoffimus Prime. If anyone has disagreements, please let me know. Just glancing down the order here to see if anyone's on the charge. Not really the case. I'm wondering if Ronaldo Tavares made a pit stop to repair his car, because he's quite a ways behind Ariel Zatoni, who, of course, did pit. So that's something perhaps to keep an eye on. Martin Lauer now putting the pressure on Paul Riccobeni, and that's letting Josiah Jerome get a little bit of breathing room there. Gerardo Del Valle up to 6th place ahead of Nick Peterson, and then it is the Silver Cup battle. Mike Jeffries, Guillermo Martinez, Zoltan Kamandi, Richard Higgs. Looks like Nils Baukage has had a problem. He's dropped back to 18th position.
Well, I mean, that's only slightly ahead of Andy Blight, right?
Andy not being here means you are entirely correct.
Technically correct.
Best kind of
correct.
Oh my god! 4 cars wide at La Source. They're heading into Eau Rouge. This could get really bad.
Listen, you guys need to stop watching the Mighty Ducks so fucking frequently. You do not need to do the flying V just to impress me.
I am holding all. They made it through, but they're very close, and Joe Racer's catching up to this group as well. This might become a 5-way battle here pretty shortly. And not too far behind that, actually, you got Johnny Major, Yevgeny Lazarenko, and David Walsh. So things could get interesting here really quickly.
I'm interested in interesting things.
Mr. Mankotron still tracking down Stoffimus Prime here at the front of the pack. It is less than a half second. Byron, have we ever seen Mike Stofmeel have to work so hard for a race at this point?
I mean, yeah, Travis was really close to him in a couple of races.
That's true. Travis did give him a lot.
God, you're such an asshole. He's sitting right here.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Oh,
I'm trying to prod him into defending himself, goddamn.
Has Travis ever raced good in his life? Rebuttal.
That's mostly an ACC thing. Race room has definitely got me.
I don't know. ACC, I think he's got you too.
Well, maybe if we had to get some sort of unified physics engine in order.
That'd be interesting. One race sim to rule them all.
I say rather. They call me Sauron of the race.
Well, that'd be good to get
we could have the ring races. Yes.
There you go.
Come on. We set the 9 forward, and they must race them all.
Richard Higgs and Zoltan Kalmandi have kind of pulled ahead of the remainder of this group, and Higgs is putting the pressure on the McLaren 650S driver as he's looking to get past Mr. Zoltan Kalmandi, and it looks like he did. Paul Riccobeni putting the pressure on Josiah Jerome once again for the podium. And I need a drink of water because I got the hiccup.
Well, I mean, you should stick to whiskey like me.
They're going 3 wide into La Source again. This is potential
dangerous to me.
That's very dangerous. Paul Riccobeni with a run down the is this the Coombe Straight? No, camel straight. Camel straight.
Camel strength.
Camel straight.
I prefer camel strength.
And then that's Lake Coombe, if I recall.
Have you seen camels?
That's true.
Pretty fucking strong.
Yeah, it's true.
I love it when people fuck around and then the camel's like, nah, we've had enough. And I don't know if you've seen teeth on camels, but dear Lord, it's like somebody took British people and just, I don't even know what, growth hormone right in the mouth.
Mike Stofmeel still battling with Mr. Mankatron. It's down to a 1/10 of a second. Mankatron is on the attack. Where is
Get him, Chip Boy!
Where is Starscream when you need him?
Starscream!
I've had enough of your incompetence, Starscream.
For the third time this week, I've had enough of your incompetence.
Starscream was the best part of Beast Wars, actually, when he came back for that brief episode.
I didn't even know he was in Beast Wars.
They came up with this whole storyline where his spark was actually indestructible, so he could not actually be killed. And he inhabited Waspinator for an episode. And he comes back, and Waspinator's like got really fucked up, and it's like, "Ah, Waspinator, you're back." He's like, "Yes, I am back, finally." And they're like, "Your voice is different." He's like,
No.
"Allow me to introduce myself." Decepticon Air Commander Starscream.
Daddy Lex.
There's a whole lightning strike, and his body turns into Starscream for like just a moment, and then goes back into being Waspinator.
The Waspatron.
It talks about how he met his fate defending his leader Galvatron from Destruction, and then one of them who actually knows history is like, "You didn't defend Galvatron from Destruction. He shot you after you betrayed him again." Mr. Mankatron on the attack against Mr. Stofmeel still, and Simeon Daku's up into the top 10. Congratulations to Simeon in the Corvette Z06. Next on his list is Richard Higgs, who's having a really good race up there in 8th place.
To further the Starscream narrative, I think my favorite Star Trek? Wow, where did I go with that one? Transformers episode was when they discovered Skytrain, and Skytrain's like, "Hey, we didn't used to be evil. Starscream, you and I, we were friends, and we did
friends.
cool things. We did
you
science.
were a cool guy. Yeah, you were a cool guy.
Remember that?" And then Starscream starts to have a change of heart, and then no, he's a dick.
Starscream will always be a dick.
Yep. I think then I think Skytrain joined the Autobots, but I could be wrong.
Starscream does have one of the better lines in the whole Michael Bay movies, admittedly, with the.
Wait, they had Starscream in the Michael Bay movies?
They did.
I mean,
he was wasted.
A lot of them.
He was wasted horribly. But he does have one.
Don't even talk to me about wasted shit in Michael Bay movies because
that's true.
Devastator, please.
The entirety of the every Transformer, basically.
The Dinobots, what the fuck?
But there's a really good line from Starscream where he's like, "Megatron, Lord Megatron, I don't mean to suggest that you are a coward, but cowards do survive."
Yeah. How dare Michael Bay ever
This is the most
touch
screen
anything
time I
ever.
think Mike Stofmeel has had in a long time.
Yeah.
Oh, Paul trying to go up the inside of the bus stop. It's not going to work. Can he get it? Can he get it down the start finish straight? I think he's got it. Paul Riccobeni versus Josiah Jerome. My teammate versus Travis's boy. Side-to-side combat. Heading into La Source.
Somebody going in the wall.
Josiah's got the inside line, so I got to bet it on, but he goes a little bit wide. Opens the door for Paul Riccobeni. Paul Riccobeni heading into Eau Rouge. He's got it. I think Paul's got it. Can he hold it through Eau Rouge, though? Great battle here between the two Audis. And, of course, JJ Motorsports with Josiah Jerome and Joe Racer, and Project Velocity, which is Paul Riccobeni and Mike Magas, battling for the team's championship. So this is a key battle right now. Further back, we got Martin Lauer, Gerardo Delvea, and Nick Peterson kind of holding on to the back end of this whole thing.
Good old Nicobar Peter Chuck.
Back to the front with a 2/10 lead. It is Stofmeel versus Mankatron. They go through turn 13 and heading into Pouillon, which is one of the harder ones on the turns on the circuit. Actually, very easy to invalidate your lap. Very easy to get it wrong and go wide. But a good run there for both men. Megatron looking to the outside. Nothing happening there, I don't think. And Stofmeel will retain the lead. We are over halfway through the race with 14 3/4 minutes to go.
I think this might be the largest gap between second and third. And to conjunctify that with the closest to the actual leader, like 1 and 2 have never been this far ahead of 3 that I've seen in a race.
I believe you are probably correct on that.
I mean, even Travis, the future of space boating Wallace, could not drive this forward.
Travis, where are you planning to open up your first extraterrestrial pudding factory?
That's a great question, but we're not ready to discuss the launch of the franchise yet.
We're going to open in Montgomery.
I recommend Ceres Asteroid. Sounds like a good plan.
Downtown Hotlanta.
It looks like the leaders are coming up to some traffic, so that could be an interesting part of this. If they can clear the traffic effectively. Further back, Michael Magas has picked up a spot over David Walsh. He's up to the 16th position and is closing ground on Zoltan Kalmandi. So we'll see if that ends up being an interesting fight there. Megatron Stofmeel. Who is that up ahead of them?
Julio.
Not sure who that they're coming up to lap is. Ronaldo Tavares is in last place, but it doesn't look like him.
Oh, it's Ronaldo.
It's Ronaldo. Gerardo Del Vea has fallen away past Martin Lauer, so the other Mustang is on the charge up into the top 5. I think it's probably Jean-Simon Chenard they might be coming up to lap. It's a black car. It's not Tavares. Tavares' car is pink. So they must have already lapped Tavares at some point.
He almost had the nose down there.
Mm-hmm. He's looking for a spot, but he's very clean. And to be honest, I mean, here's the question, Travis. You're a guy who has a lot more experience winning races than I do, because I have next to no experience in this regard. When is your optimal time to actually make the move here? When are you
the first corner?
The source is good.
Honestly, if I was in that situation against Stofmeel with those cars, God, that's a tough call. I mean, getting past Stofmeel is hard anyways. Some would say impossible.
That Mustang's also very hard to pass because it is amazing grunt out of the corner.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why I would say you're hanging on to him, so stick with that. Don't be as aggressive, and then make the move on the last lap.
Save it for the end.
That way you can defend, and it's a lot easier to defend for one lap than it is for the last 11 minutes of the race.
I'm gonna suggest even going further and saving for the last run through the bus stop. That is where I imagine the Mustang is at its weakest. It's a heavy braking zone, and the Mustang does not have great brakes. That might be your best bet.
That's true, but then you've only got one shot at it.
It's true. True enough. Maybe second last lap going for it at the bus stop?
Maybe. This straightaway that we're on here, the Camel Straight's a long
That's
straight.
true. Yeah, the Camel Straight and also through Eau Rouge.
With Mike Stofmeel in a top-end car, it's hard to fathom.
It is difficult. I mean, his performance at Laguna Seca, which was a track that he and I thought was good. Oh, Martin Lauer off, and he's lost a front end. Another Audi with no front end. That's not good. Megatron's still on his tail, so they've lapped Jean-Simon Chenard. They have potentially lapped Ronaldo Tavares. So they are... Tobias Howard's next up, but I think he's well up the road yet, so I don't think there's any lap traffic anytime soon.
Try that same move he did last lap.
Yeah, I don't think that's really on. Yeah, that is Tavares in behind them in the Mercedes, so they've gotten clear of Chenard and Tavares.
I admire the Manticore's tenacity and willing to try and take risks to get around Stofmeel, which a lot of people are fucking scared to do.
But you got to realize, I think also Megatron has, I think, an advantage. He doesn't know Stofmeel.
I mean,
there's no mystique to pierce through there.
Well, what have you got to fucking lose?
That,
we're gonna get
really
beat by Stofmeel again. Whatever, just do it.
Yeah, but you can end up overthinking it if you have a driver that you're really worried about getting past. Whereas if you've never raced the guy before, there's no mystique there. He's just another dude, and you can treat him probably a little bit rougher than you would normally treat Mr. Mike Stofmeel.
Well, that goes back to what, like, okay, you know what he's capable of, but if you're this close to him, do it. Just do it. Oh no, I made a move and he won again. Big fucking deal. And then the next time you do something else.
Well, you got a championship to think about as well.
I don't care.
In the meantime, Josiah Jerome is back up on the tail of Paul Riccobeni. And Stofmeel has managed to get it out a little bit now. It's up to 4/10. But the fact that like 4 or 5/10 is the largest the lead has gotten, unheard of with Mike Stofmeel, I think. Mike Jeffries, I think, has had a moment. He was in the top 10 and has now dropped back to 15th place. So I'm not sure what happened to the Mercedes driver there. Simeon Naku on the tail of Richard Higgs, and they're catching up to Martin Lauer. We saw Lauer lose his front end earlier, so he'll be probably a sitting duck for these two cars pretty shortly. Very rough run there through Eau Rouge for Simeon Naku, though. Still glued to the back end, though. Yevgeny Lazarenko's also up to the top 10 after not qualifying, so hats off to Simeon and Yevgeny, who have carved their way through the field to the top 10. And Megatron has closed the gap back to about 0.2 of a second to Mike Stofmeel. And he's got the pressure on once again as they are heading towards Stavlo.
You know, that seems to be his best point. I would say if he made a move on the last lap, coming out of no name, like just do your best to time it right, make the move. I think that would be his best spot to defend for the remainder of the lap.
Trying to get a good look at Nick Peterson's car. His front end looks a little misshapen, as if he's perhaps hit something. But he is sticking to the back of Gerardo Del Vea, so if he is damaged, it's not really showing in his pace.
You're saying he's just bad at his job?
No, it looks like he's fine. Just must have been the angle made his front end look a little dented. And Josiah Jerome is trying to put the pressure on, heading into the bus stop. And Paul lost the back end a little bit there. And
I gotta say,
wasn't able to pound.
So far, definitely who I'm most impressed with in this race is that. Doing a fantastic job of hanging on right there at the back of the podium.
Indeed. He's got the pace for sure. And Martin Lauer letting some traffic through. He's back down to 11th place now. That's got to be heartbreak for Martin, who not really a title contender. He's got some problems with attendance and so on, but a guy who can compete for wins and to be running outside the top 10 at Spa, it's got to suck.
And I like his magic trick where he made the bumper disappear, but the fog lights are still there.
Somehow. Nick Peterson putting the pressure on Gerardo Del Vea, so a good fight going on for 5th place as well. Nick Peterson's been probably the rookie of the year in ESR with the 3D Speed Series. He's been doing great.
What? Better than Josiah Jerome?
Josiah's not a rookie.
He is the perpetual rookie.
He's not a rookie. Although, if Mr. Megatron shows up a little bit more, I mean, that's a Rookie of the Year possibility right there.
Whoa.
He is still all over the back end of Mike Stofmeel.
Would you NXT the shit out of him and make him go through the academy?
I think the academy would revolt if Megatron had to go. This would be like sending AJ Styles to NXT. We just don't do that.
Or like Kushida to NXT.
The only reason I would send Kushida to NXT is it depends on what his English fluency is. Almost just as like a language.
No, just don't make him do promos.
Oh no, not from a promo standpoint, just from a communication standpoint, backstage.
I don't give a shit.
Because if you send him to the main roster and let Vince McMahon have his way with him and he doesn't speak English, he's fucked. Like, that's just all there is to it. Nick Peterson putting the pressure on Gerardo Del Vea. Really putting it on. He's actually within 3/10 of him for the most part. But Gerardo does have the ability to pull away on those straights because, again, Mustang power, baby.
So, on this layout, which layout are we on?
This is the Grand Prix.
Start finish, or is the one on the
it's before La Source.
Okay. Tell you what, man. Watching Stofmeel take that Mustang up Eau Rouge is just entertaining.
Indeed.
He's got it very damn sideways.
Wow.
Cool.
Freaking Mustang. Still got the lead over Megatron. Oh! Nick Peterson trying to put the move on against Gerardo Del Vea, but I don't think you can get it done in Eau Rouge.
The
Nope.
grunt of the Mustang.
You just can't. Oh, well, maybe you can. Oh, they're both off. Can he get it done? Side by side with the Mustang down the Camel Straight. This is yeah. He just tucks back in. Now it's not even worth it trying for it.
Right there. Next lap, that needs to be MR's move.
Yep.
Coming out, he needs to be close. It's going to be tough. Stofmeel really pulls away up Camel. But if he can manage the S's and to make a run out of No Name, really we're not seeing it because he's stuck behind Stofmeel, but he really has a pace advantage through the last half of the circuit.
Absolutely. Comes right up onto his bumper, basically.
Yeah, that would be his best move. Then he could pull a gap and down the back straight, not straight here. Stofmeel, just even with the pace of the Mustang, just wouldn't catch him.
There's the game plan from Travis Wallace. Nick Peterson is going for it as well.
Didn't make it.
Nick gets spun around. He's got a good lead on Naku. I think he'll be able to get it going and keep her in 6th place, I think. Yeah, he's back up and running. Naku is still about 8 seconds behind him, so... I mean, he may have just thrown away 5th place there, but at some point he was going to have to go for a move.
Ooh, we're going to get another lap, guys. That's only 2 to go there.
We are going to get another lap.
We can watch Megatron here give it a test run out of No Name. Kind of tease it.
Which one is No Name again? I always forget which one.
The left-hander after the all right, you got the S's right up here at the end of Camel.
Yeah.
And then you got the long sweeping right hand
that's
hairpin.
Pouillon.
Yep.
Or no,
yep.
that's Ravage, pardon me.
Okay. And then No Name's the downhill left that is very easy to run wide on.
All right, so No Name leads into Pouillon.
Yes, yeah.
Okay,
there you go.
Gotcha. I know exactly which one you're talking about.
He's close enough this time. He might pull it off here.
As they head into Ravage.
Let's see.
Damn Couillon.
He is close enough. Oh, he's too close.
It's too close. Can't get the run.
Close.
They got some lap traffic coming up ahead. That might be a chance.
Yeah, it's going to be hard in that Mustang to pass.
Not sure who that is. I think that's Wayne Medeiros that is Wayne Medeiros in the Mercedes they're coming up to.
I was going to say, the way he's
who is missing a front end.
Damage, yeah.
I swear to God. Has Wayne Medeiros finished a season in a race in 3D speed without losing his bumper so far? Jesus.
I think he was the one. Wasn't he the one in the wall at the green flag?
Yes, he was.
Has he not pit to fix that?
Apparently not.
Wow.
Either that or he broke it off again.
That is some dedication. I mean, you had the whole race to fix it, and you were like, nah, fuck it.
It's not really working. Well, he is beating 3 cars, so maybe it's working out for him.
True.
Guess it depends on where he thought he could legitimately finish.
Yeah, so all Megatron would have to do is clear a half a second gap, and Stofmeel would not be able to get back by him down the back straight there. So I think that's totally doable.
All right, we'll see if he can get it done here on the last lap. All right, through La Source for the final time. Megatron versus Stofmeel.
I'm really into this.
Battle is on. I think we'll probably ride this all the way to the finish line, would be my guess.
Stofmeel.
Stofmeel getting real sideways at Eau Rouge. Oh, both of them cutting the track a little bit there.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, I'm surprised we hadn't seen any slowdowns. Is that not a thing in the 3D speed?
It is on, but you know what? I found that particularly at Eau Rouge, the game is very, very generous with what a drive-through is. It's no slowdowns. It's just drive-through.
Ah, okay. All right, so right here, he needs to lay back a bit, but he's going to be aggressive. He needs to lay back here.
He needs to lay back through Rivage.
And then
get a little bit of gap.
Yeah, he's too close again. Way too close.
Yeah, he is way too close. Yeah, from that angle, it confirms.
That's unfortunately, I think that was his last chance. The Stofmeel knows the move.
Well, he's got some chances. Like he's still got the bus stop I was talking about earlier.
It up.
He got left
on the wall.
Unfortunately, he loses too much time on the back. He's not going to be able to make the move to the bus stop.
Yeah.
That Mustang just...
I mean, if Stofmeel can make a minor mistake, maybe? But Stofmeel is, yeah. They're coming up to John Peaches, so maybe he needs a favor from the Peach. Oh, hang on!
Hey.
Side by side!
Still not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. The grunt of Mustang, I think, is too much.
Yeah, it is. A hell of a try, though.
Here they go into Blanchiment. He is close enough to maybe have a shot into the bus stop, though. It's gonna take a bet. No.
That Mustang, man.
Man, that is a fucked up McLaren. John Peach. Running with like half a car. Richard Higgs is up on the tail of Yevgeny Lazarenko, battle for 8th place. Coming down to the line here. It is gonna be Mike Stofmeel who takes the victory here. Ahead of Mr. Mankatron. Third place is going to go to Paul Riccabeni. I think pretty easily there. He is trailing Wayne Medeiros, who's running without a front end. Richard Higgs still on the tail of Yevgeny Lazarenko to the line. Can he get that 8th place off of him? Rounding off the top 5, it's going to be Gerardo Delvea, Nick Peterson in 6th, Simeon Naku in 7th. 8th is still up for grabs. It is Lazarenko versus Higgs. Can Higgs get it done into the bus stop? Maybe. He's got the outside line here, which will turn into the inside line potentially. No. Switchback's not there. Lazarenko hangs on to 8th place. Pretty good run for Yevgeny. After not qualifying, him and Simeon Naku are up to 7th and 8th. And rounding off the top 10, it is Joe Racer.
Here comes Joe Racer.
Here's Martin Lauer, sans a front end, running behind Nils Balkic. It's Michael Magas in the rear view there, as Zoltan Kalmandi comes across the line in 14th position behind the VIP boys, Johnny Major and Mike Jeffries. And,
do we know what happened to Balkic? I thought he was running a lot higher than that.
He dropped at some point. I don't know what happened to him, though. He was up in like 8th place, yes, but he'll have to settle for 15th. Dave Walsh comes across the line at 19th, ahead of Ariel Zatoni after his pit stop, crawling back to 20th. And here is the old Audi of Leonard Burke, a.k.a. Basic Burke.
I'm going to call him El Baby until he puts a real name in there.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of that name. Dixon Hurst looks like he'll take
Dixon
home 22nd
Listen, there's a
place.
cream you can get for that.
There is the man they call Dixon Hurst in the Red Bull Ford. Ahead of teammate Jean-Simon Chenard, who I believe he has lapped his teammate, actually. That's a little embarrassing.
Well, what do you want him to do? Hold back?
My God.
That's a really messed up car of John
Lost
Peach.
half of the McLaren.
Fastest lap to Mr. Mankatron, but the win to Mike Stofmeel. Riccabeni, Jerome, Delvea, Peterson, Naku, Lazarenko, Higgs, and Racer, your reverse grid. So Joe Racer, get a start on pole position here for race number 2, which will be a 15-minute affair.
I agree with all of those statements. I'm going to go food and shoot my cat and be right back for the end of warm-up.
Travis, would you like to... You got any predictions here for race 2? Who you got? Who you feeling good about?
Well, it's going to be interesting to see who's going to be better at getting through the field. Is it going to be Stofmeel, or is it going to be Megatron? Oh my God, they're going to hit! No, it's all good.
It's all good. Ford stopped in time.
But yeah, I mean, they had a full second advantage over the rest of the field there, even in the race at race pace. So I think it's safe to say they're going to be able to climb through, barring any major incidents. But that may turn out to be the deciding factor. If Megatron can cut through the field a little better, he does have the advantage of starting one place higher.
That Mustang has been pretty hard to keep from cutting through the field, though, like a knife through butter.
Yeah, I mean, you get a straightaway and you're going to pass at least one.
Now, I will say Gerardo Del Vea may be a little bit of a wild card here. He's starting pretty high on the grid, and he is also in a Mustang.
Yeah,
I know that is pretty nasty.
Had a good first race here. Was showing pace. So
It'll, of course, be interesting to see how Martin Lauer and Ariel Zatoni, the two cars that are very out of position on the grid, I believe starting from 16th and 20th, how they do. So we know they got pace. They are top 10 cars who had some damage, and that ruined solid results for them. So it'll be interesting to see what they can do. Do you think that Joe Racer has anything for the field from pole position?
I guess we'll see. It's not entirely impossible.
We have seen, we've seen, if I may, some weirder winners from reverse grid pole, like myself. So we'll see. All right, the grid is forming up. It will be Joe Racer leading the way from the front. I can't remember who's on the front row with them. Richard Higgs. So Higgs might be a guy to look for. Also, bit of a dark horse. The guy in P3 there, Yevgeny Lazarenko. What do you think about that?
Yeah, clearly didn't do as well as he was hoping in
Well,
the first round.
He didn't qualify and made it up to 8th place.
Yeah, that's very true.
Him and Simeon Naku.
I did not consider that.
Yeah, him and Simeon Naku did not qualify and made it up to 7th and 8th place. So they're dark horses to me. We're off and heading into Les Source.
Well, there you go. He's in the lead.
There we go. Yevgeny Lazarenko and Simeon Naku both came through. The guys on the front row completely pooched that start.
That Corvette.
Whoa. Mr. Mankatron and Nick Peterson getting into a little shoving match there.
And,
actually, you know who may have got
some separation from Stofmeel there.
Yeah, you know who may have gotten the best start, though, is right there. Paul Riccobeni already up onto the 3rd place.
Somebody's backwards.
There is some carnage coming out of Eau Rouge, not gonna lie.
God.
Eau Rouge gonna make the Eau Rouge.
Another Ford in the wall where it belongs. I mean, there's another Ford in the wall.
That's Dixon Hurst.
Dixon the guardrail.
Hey-o.
It's not where you're supposed to stick your dick.
God damn it! Ruined every joke.
And so where, I'm looking. My God, where'd he go?
Stofmeel's in 7th. Are you looking for Megatron?
Yes.
15th place.
Yeah,
He had that
that's not what he wanted to do.
He had that collision with Nick Peterson heading into Eau Rouge.
Yeah, that's not what you wanted to do. You've given Stofmeel way too much room, especially
Yeah,
for a 15-minute race.
It didn't help either of them. Peterson's down to 13th, so...
How many hot knives are we going to see through butter on this one?
Well, Stofmeel's only up to 7th so far, so we got some knives to go.
Yeah, but he was 9th when you started talking.
Next on his list is Joe Racer, or is that Josiah Jerome? I think that's Josiah Jerome. He's through 6th place for Mike Stofmeel. He's on the chart. And it's not helping that Josiah Jerome and Joe Racer are right next to each other in pretty much identical cars there.
Yeah. I do got to say that I'm liking how many of the old cars are showing on the grid here.
Next season might be...
watching one hit the lead.
Indeed, the Z06 of Simeon Naku getting past Yevgeny Lazarenko, and there is the Ford Mustang of Gerardo Del Vea in behind them. P4 belongs to Riccobene. Higgs, gotta say, not happy with Richard Higgs and Joe Racer, who I think they did on the front road. They pooched that start and just ended up dropping back like flies.
Yeah, big time.
Not good work. Mike Stofmeel has set his sights on Richard Higgs and Paul Riccobene heading into Eau Rouge. Can he get the job done? He's currently in P6, looking to get into the top
Higgs
5.
Before you Rouge. We'll have to wait on Riccobene till after.
Are you sure?
Yeah. That Mustang's fast. That's a lot of ground to cover in a very short.
He did get Higgs.
And Lazarenko looking back for the lead.
And Gerardo Delvea just licking his chops back there in the Mustang. And Lazarenko back to the lead. Martin Lauer's made his way up to 10th place, so he's having a good recovery drive. Not so for Ariel Zattoni, who is having a bit of a nightmare run here at Spa after qualifying in P3. He's down in 21st position, finished 20th in race 1.
Dang, son.
Disappointing.
Disappointed.
There's the gap Stofmeel has to make up.
There it
11
is.
minutes.
It's fine.
It's fine.
11 minutes. Yeah, this is totally
I feel like Mike Stofmeel's radio with his team would resemble Danny Ricciardo's whenever... Something happened with Josiah Jerome, by the way. He's dropped back to 10th place behind teammate Joe Racer and Martin Lauer. I feel like Mike Stofmeel at this point is... he's already passed Paul Riccobene into 4th place. Jesus Christ. He's putting on the Danny Ricciardo race message where it's, you know... I just like them being vulnerable and I will make my way through the grid.
And that coup getting pinched off the track.
Yeah, he might still get the lead here, though.
Nice job cutting back, though. Never lifted.
Indeed. Good job of car control there from the Moldovan.
Yeah, had to lift there.
And these guys got to sort it out, because the more they bicker, the more that yellow Mustang is becoming a problem.
And looks like he's pulling Riccobene up there with him.
By the way, it's 2019. Oh, a little collision there between Mike Jeffries and I think
Actually,
it was Josiah
it's 2017, sir.
So it's 2019, and we currently have a Corvette Z06 in 2nd place and 2 Ford Mustangs in 3rd and 4th at Spa. What the hell?
I bet the Russians did this.
Well, there's a Ukrainian involved.
See?
Yeah.
In the meantime, Mike Magas having a terrible race way at the back of the pack.
In Soviet Russia is Ukraine. Michael Magas, you are terrible at all things, and you should probably stick to plotting walking cars.
In defense, there was a pit stop involved to why I'm that far back.
Did it involve replacing your entire car?
Most of the front end, actually.
My God. I was missing 13 pistons. I don't know what happened.
To the point where when I came out of the pit lane, I was still showing damage that the pit stop just wouldn't even fix.
Wow. You got your eggs scrambled on that way.
I was involved. I was involved in the Eau Rouge problem. Mr. Stofmeel is up onto the podium, having displaced Gerardo Delvea. There is no way Stofmeel's getting beaten by another Mustang. This is not possible.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna be a thing.
Martin Lauer getting shoved out there by Josiah Jerome, and that opens up the door for Nick Peterson, and also Mr. Mencatron is in close examination there. Shout out to Guillermo Martinez running in 7th place. Good run for the McLaren so far. Doing a great job. Further back, Nils Baukage has come up to 12th place, so he's having a pretty solid run. Ariel Zattoni's still back in 21st, so he's having a rough day. And need a shot of Wayne Medeiros to see if he still has a front end. Pressure is on. Someone is in the wall.
No!
It's Josiah Jerome is in the wall. Travis, your boy.
That's a trackpad misclick. That's all that is.
Your boy is horrendously in the wall and dropping like an anvil.
God, skip the stone and the hammer straight to the end.
Straight to the anvil.
We saw Simeon defending through the S's. He will go defensive on the straight, and that is futile.
That's not gonna work.
It was a valiant effort. It's the same valiant effort I've seen a lot of guys put up.
Stofmeel the second. A little disappointed that Megatron's up into the top 10 now, so he is making progress, but it's not as great.
Riccobene quietly coming up into 4th also.
Yep, got past Gerardo Del Vea there, despite the Mustang's huge straight line speed advantage.
Huge.
We have the best straight line speed.
Tremendous. Everybody knows this.
Our engine is the biggest.
We had it sprayed orange to match my face. Be sure to tune in next week on my TV show. Your president.
You see how this forest isn't catching fire? It's because they rake it.
They brushed the leaves. They oiled them up nicely.
God, I can't wait for him to do all the late night talk shows after he's not president any longer.
Oh, that'll be.
They always do the whole round after they get out of the presidency. Oh, it's gonna be fantastic.
Guillermo Martinez is annoying Mr. Megatron, getting a little flash of the headlights there from the rough drive.
Yeah, it looked like he got pushed off track, but it did not deter him at all.
It's just made him angry. Guillermo Martinez, currently, I believe, the Silver Cup leader, if I'm not tremendously mistaken. No, it is Richard Higgs up in 6th place.
He is in a fantastic car, though. Gotta love that thing.
Which, are you talking about the McLaren?
Yeah, such a great. I love it.
They look great.
I know it's extremely slow, but
yeah, I'm not a fan of the performance characteristics.
Yeah, the grip is just unbelievable. It's by far the best handle.
Well, Paul Riccobene would like to have a second podium here at Spa, and there's a Ukrainian standing in the way, and he would like to do something about that.
Tell you what, man, that Porsche, it's got a decent amount of top end also.
It does.
Another great car to drive.
Well, the Audi admittedly does not have great top end, so I think that's part of the problem here.
Stofmeel watch. His lead's probably gonna be about a second and a half.
Oh, he's gonna start to vanish at this point. I'm not in last place anymore. Gerardo Del Vea. He was my wild card. He was the guy I thought they could do something, but back down into 5th place.
Going forward again.
Yeah.
Got the line.
Little contact there between Lazarenko and Riccobene. Well held by Lazarenko.
Not gonna get it done. Touch again.
Mm-hmm.
And,
a lot of yellow in the top 5.
Yeah, Del Vea's
Gerardo
like,
Del Vea says, "Thank you. I'll take that 4th place." Fantastic run by Richard Higgs, still up there in 6th place. I mean, bad start. I did rake him over the coals for him and Joe Racer kind of pooching the start, but he's held pretty well. Can't really say the same for Joe Racer, who's down in 13th position after starting on pole. So a bit of a disappointing run there.
He's holding the blade spot.
A very disappointing run, actually, for the JJ team in general. Racers in 13th, Josiah Jerome back in 18th, of course, after his collision with the wall. So, a rough time for the championship contenders, and Paul Riccobene on the charge. Riccobene back into 4th place. Oh, maybe not.
It's such a run.
That Mustang grunt. Jesus Christ.
I mean, he had a tremendous amount of momentum coming out of the bus stop.
It is an absolute beast, that Mustang. It's got weaknesses as a car, but it is fantastic. And no sign of the Camaro of Lachlan Nichols in this race. It's very disappointing.
Oh, we do have a Camaro. Fantastic.
We do. Lachlan. He just has to show up for races and not fall asleep.
Freaking Australians.
Crikey.
Just seeing if anyone else is really on a charge here. Battle between the newly found teammates, Zoltan Kalmandi and Guillermo Martinez.
So they're just blocking everybody else.
That could be it, actually. Yeah.
Fuck you! You are not getting through.
They are making it They are making an orange wall.
Team Creamsicle up in this bitch.
I'd say maybe Donald Trump would be interested in their team, but they're both foreigners, so
They're delightful. They taste citrusy and creamy. I ingest them all the time.
I don't know. They don't sell them at McDonald's, so.
That is true.
What is he, a Burger King guy?
No, he's McDonald's fuck
McDonald's
nut.
guy?
All he eats.
I had the chef go down to the McDonald's, the Tremendous, they had the Burger King, the Big Macs on sale, 2 for 1.
Ariel Zatoni finally making some progress through the grid, taking Leonard Burke there for 16th place. Next on his list is the Brazilian Ronaldo Tavares. We'll see if he can get through there.
Stofmeel watch. This is gonna be 6. This is probably gonna be like a good 7-second lead by the time you cross the finish line.
Gonna call it 6.5, bro.
The over/under set at 6.5. I'm taking the over.
Travis, you got the over.
I'm gonna go with the over.
Joe Racer making a move on Dave Walsh there for 12th. But Dave Walsh having a pretty good run there in 13th place. Good work.
If you can take anything away from this commentary, it's don't fuck with Mike Stofmeel and go vote.
Yes, please vote, for the love of God.
Jesus Christ.
Please, please, for the sake of the world, go vote.
At least next time I elect Snooki, she's more orange. Fuck.
At least then, we'll have the most orange president of all time.
It'd be awesome. Can you imagine the fucking infographic on the American presidents?
Oh, God.
It's like multiple 50 or more white guys, 1 black guy, 1 orange, and then deeper orange.
It's just getting oranger.
More orangish.
Paul Riccobeni still can't find a way past Gerardo Del Valle. In the meantime, Lazarenko just took 2nd place there off Naku. Very nice move. Oh, some aggressive defensive driving there by Del Valle. I don't think it's going to be good enough, though.
I think that may have been more of just wheel spin.
Might have been. He's lost the spot there as Tobias Howard is on the tail of a very damaged Ford. That is Dixon Hurst.
Stofmeel watch, lead up to 7.5 seconds.
There we go. That's a very damaged Ford up ahead of you, Tobias. Please do something about that.
Put him in the wall.
And coming up behind them is Michael Magas in the out.
What a weirdie.
Doing the people's eyebrow.
Definitely people's eyebrow going on here.
Oh my God, that one's worse.
Oh,
Impossible.
Jean-Simon Chenard doesn't even really have a car at this point.
Everything in front of the cockpit is gone.
Everything is gone. Drive-through penalty, abuse of track limits for Wayne Medeiros. You know who we haven't seen all race is actually Wayne Medeiros. We need to know if he has a bumper.
He is bumpless.
He surely has more of a car left than Jean-Simon Chenard does.
Yeah, maybe.
And Mike Stofmeel has officially won the race. Joe Racer is on the tail of the 2 McLarens, Kalmandi and Martinez. Can he get the job done?
The Manticore currently in the blade spot.
Yeah.
Or the knife block, as I like to call it.
Indeed. Mancotron back in 13th place.
Oh! Hit fake out.
What the fuck is that?
I don't know why you would do that, but okay.
They all explode.
Fucking scattergun.
Indeed. Joe Racer had a problem there. He lost a spot to Mancotron at the end. So does Joe Racer in the Andy Blade spot. There's Guillermo Martinez. He is without a front end. Or not Guillermo Martinez. That's Ronaldo Tavares.
Ronaldo, don't call me Brad. Tavares.
Mm-hmm. Ariel Zatoni. Only 18th and a 20th for Ariel. That's going to hurt his championship bid considerably. For a guy who...
It's kind of surprising.
He qualified P3 and just it did not get anything done here today. 24th place for Michael Magas. A rough run.
Ouch.
For the Canadian.
What a loser, man.
But I do have the greatest people's eyebrow.
I mean, I would beg to differ, but it's just that it's higher on my head.
90.
Post race.
Well, that's AI controlling the car. Give me a break.
I don't believe you.
Wayne Madero's 90-second penalty at the end of the race for the non-served drive-through penalty. Fortunately, he was a number of other cars didn't get to finish due to the time limits. Mike Stofmeel pulls the double ahead of Evgeny Lazarenko. Paul Riccobeni made it happen. Got third place. We didn't even see it.
Yeah, boy.
Simeon Naku, Gerardo Delvea, Richard Higgs with a hell of a Silver Cup run to 6th place. Nick Peterson, Nils Baukic, Johnny Major, Zoltan Kalmandi, Guillermo Martinez, Mr. Megatron, Joe Racer, David Walsh, Josiah Jerome, Leonard Burke, Mike Jeffries, Ariel Zatoni, and a bunch of other scrubs rounding off the field.
That's the lowest I've ever seen the fastest lap guy qualify ever. Or finish the race, not qualify.
Indeed. So, fantastic round here at Spa. The next round will be at the Red Bull Ring. What cars do you think you're favoring there, Mr. Travis?
Well, I would say not the Mustang, but God, actually, I don't know.
Save a Lotta. It'll be hilarious.
A lot of tight corners would be good exits for the Mustang. So I don't know, man. The Porsches will probably be strong. They get out of the corners pretty well. The Audis, obviously. It'll be interesting to see.
Well, we'll see you then, and we'll also be back with Upper Class Academy and GT4 action this weekend.
Are we doing live enduro tomorrow or what?
Yes, you are.
I don't think we have an enduro tomorrow, do we?
Isn't it the last Saturday of the month?
Not an enduro. Oh no, that's next weekend. Tomorrow's the.
Oh yeah, right. Never mind.
Tomorrow is the GT4s.
But feel free to do live on Sunday.
I'm down for whatever.
Yeah, GT4 is at Karlskoga.